The fuck?
It's okay.
No,
Yeah.
the last 5 minutes, I want to cut the last 5 minutes with the YouTube studio thing, the
Uh-huh.
editor, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't save currently.
It's
But
okay.
yeah, the last 5 minutes are just me browsing on Twitter.
Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So let's talk about the beginning. So like, what's your goal here? Like, what do you want to get out of this?
I think the biggest problem I have is with mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I usually just I don't know. I tilt too easily, I'd say.
Uh-huh.
Especially, I mean, I focus on my own mistakes and I get mad when I die, like when I die to a jungler because I didn't track him well enough or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, or I didn't look at the map at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but what hits me most is the teammates. Like
Mm-hmm.
one game, it's not the one I linked, but I have another game
Mm-hmm.
where my jungler could have just come mid, and
Mm-hmm.
all he does
Mm-hmm.
is farm his jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it wasn't really early game; it was more like mid game. And we could have just killed the mid, and like maybe won the game of that.
Mm-hmm.
But all he does is do scams,
Mm-hmm.
and that just sends me, you know.
Yeah.
And I had a big problem with toxicity in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
when I started. I had like 4 permabanned accounts. It was really bad, and
Okay.
I'm kind of embarrassed by that.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It got better. I mean, the account I have now is like 3 years old
Do
by
you
now.
type a lot?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
I try not to,
Uh-huh.
but sometimes it's just I don't know. Like I've downloaded programs where I can't like press my enter button and stuff like that. Uh, but it doesn't really help. I don't know. It's just
Have
and I
you?
know it's wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Have you tried like closing the like there's an option in League where you can just disable
Oh,
chat?
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean I do that. As you can see, I don't play a lot on my main. I actually don't really. I haven't really played that many games uh,
Mm-hmm.
overall. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've started preseason 5,
Mm-hmm.
and I maybe have like 2K games
Mm-hmm.
at most.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had a lot of breaks in between and long breaks, like 6 months or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, but I just get drawn back to the game, like because even though it really brings the worst out of you, it's still like the best game, you know.
Okay, sure. Sure. I mean, I mean, League is, if you enjoy it, it's different every game, right? So
Yeah,
if you're
that's
into
true.
like strategy, if you're into like, beating the shit out of the
True,
enemy
true.
with your own pure skills and flaunting about it, sure. Um, but I've played League for like what 5 6 years,
Yeah,
and League is League. Okay, here's the thing. Like when it comes to toxicity and tilting, like League will always have these two factors. It's really up to you on how to. It's I don't want to say like it's hard to say like, oh, I want it to be completely gone, because even like I tilt sometimes, and like when I tilt I hard tilt, or
yeah,
when I get toxic, I get extremely toxic.
yeah.
But it's really up to you, like how you want to tone it down.
Mm,
So like if you have a problem with like typing, if you have a problem with like like just flaming your teammates or just like trying to direct your teammates,
yeah.
what I try to do is that first I try to just mute chat. I always mute chat, because
Wait a second. Do you mind if I record it for personal use?
oh, no, I'm
Like,
recording this
okay.
and I'll send it to you later.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, I'm
Nice.
recording all of these. um but yeah, like first things is that I always just mute all. I mute all. I disable chat. Like really really rare occasions where I would type, and like even then, like what I tell myself secondly is like I just say like it's not worth it, because like
Yeah, that's true.
if if I have to type it out to my teammates, um I don't think they'll even listen. or like they can't
Yeah,
absorb it fast
that's
enough. So
true.
let's say if you're playing mid, right, and you have a jungler, right? So let's say
Yeah.
if you freeze it well, you know the enemy has no sums. You know if he just comes, your jungler just comes, it's a free kill, right? If
Yeah.
he doesn't do that, that means it's not even crossing his mind in the first place. So there's really no
Okay.
point for you to type it out, for him to do. At least that's what I tell
Yeah.
myself. Cause
Okay.
like I don't want to be wasting time. Like I'm not this guy's coach. I'm not his mentor. You know, I'm just trying
Yeah.
to play my mid lane. And if he doesn't come, then fuck it, whatever. I can't do anything. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna play it passively and try to farm. Like unless it's a must, then whatever.
Yeah.
If I don't have to ask my jungler to come, I'll just farm. I'll just freeze and farm. And
Okay.
that's it.
I mean, it probably also has to do with like the wave management and stuff like that. So the wave is not gankable or something like that. But most of the time, I'm like pushed in trying to hold the wave in front of my tower,
Mhm.
and yeah, I know.
Okay.
But I think sometimes it's actually that the lane is like ungankable. Like
For
like
you
when
or
I have
for
a
the enemy?
no for my for my jungler. Like
Right.
when they have a LeBlanc or something, a Z,
Uh-huh. Mhm.
which can just W out,
Mhm.
and yeah,
Yeah.
they're just
I
in the middle of the lane, so they have
yeah.
a shorter path.
And yeah, and it's gold,
Something like
right?
that.
It's in your
Yeah,
elo like maybe like out of 100 games, you'll probably like get two junglers who are smurfing and actually knows how to play the
yeah,
game. And at that point, you probably won't even need to tell them.
yeah.
So like
That's true.
I feel like third reason is like just try to focus on your lane. I'm guilty of this sometimes. Like whenever I see like a free kill and I know my jungler should come, um, but he doesn't. There's really nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can just really just try to hold your lane down. Um, okay, hold on, give me a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna look at your PGG. You can see everything, right?
Yeah, I can see everything.
What I like about this OPG is that you're very consistent with your champion pool. Have you had any coachings before?
No, I haven't. But I mean, I watched a lot of coaching videos on YouTube, like from Zen or from LS.
Hmm.
Or I don't know if you know him, Coach Curtis.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, and
sure.
I don't know. I mean, like
I think he's
Orianna and
really good. I think he's pretty good. I
yeah,
think Coach Curtis is
I mean, his
really
videos
detailed.
are
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Like
It's,
1 hour videos, like all most of the time,
yeah,
But
honestly, if you have the time, I really recommend watching his
yeah,
videos. Because he explains. I'm asking because like I was gonna go through like the runes and masteries,
yeah,
and I assume that you've already, since like you mentioned Coach Curtis, I assume that you've already watched this, like how to carry with Orianna, runes and masteries and
yeah.
whatnot.
I mean, the runes I just copy from Dopa, to be honest.
Right.
Um, I think, I mean, he uses Unseat Spellbook often, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I like the consistency of Phase Rush, and I don't
Right.
really know how to use Unseat Spellbook efficiently.
Right.
So I don't think it's worth it to take it.
Okay. So when it comes to Orianna, I'll just explain Orianna since the main champion here is just Orianna. When it comes to
Yeah.
Orianna, Phase Rush is probably the most consistent rune you'll get just because of how easy Orianna can proc with Phase Rush.
Yeah.
You know the combo QWAA or
Yeah.
QWE, or even QWR if you want to, and then
Yeah.
your Phase Rush always procs. There are times where you can go for Comet or Summon Airy if you're against like
Mm-hmm.
so Summon Airy is mostly against melee matchups,
Like
where it's
Kassadin, for example.
yeah Kassadin,
Yeah.
Akali, sometimes Yasuo, but I think Yasuo it's
Mm.
better if you take Face Rush. Against
Yeah.
Echo it's also better if you take Face Rush. But mainly Summon Airy is if you're allowed to auto attack without
Mm.
the enemy being able to retaliate much.
Mm.
Then Airy is good. Um, but if not, then you can take Comet is only good if it in very rare cases Comet is good if you're against team comps that you don't want to get too near.
Okay.
So let's say if they have something like Sejuani, Braum, things that you just want to stay as far away as possible and deal as much damage as you can, then Comic's really good. But again, we go back to Phase Rush. It is the most consistent. It helps you in lane aggressively and defensively. Um, so Phase Rush is your go-to. So when it comes to the the secondary or like the bottom tree, I think mana flow ban is probably the best. But there are some cases, and like I've talked to some players. I think Nimbus Cloak is not bad if you think you are in a lane where you'll get ganked a lot, or where you think you need to use your sums a lot. Obviously, if you take TP, you don't have to take Nimbus Cloak because you know you there's not much of a point.
Yeah.
Um, but if let's say in games where you need to take Ghost, or you want to take Ghost or heal, I think Nimbus Cloak is really good. In that case, I think going secondary for inspiration with cookies and time work tonic is not bad. But I've seen people going for presence of mind and coup de grace. That's not too bad either. Still, I think this rune set is pretty much the most efficient you can ever get. Transcendence is always good. The other two is just not good. Just forget this two exists. Scorch is really good in lane. Water walking, no reason to take it. And then gathering storm is only when like you know what? Unless you play competitive, don't even think of gathering storm as a rune.
Okay.
Yeah. Scorch is just much better to help you win the lane.
Yeah.
And inspiration is an interesting one because sometimes if you want like the most consistent rune set that it can offer you, this two is really the best. Boots and
Yeah.
biscuits. Boots because free 300 go is always a nice it's always a nice thing to get free things.
Yeah.
I take the watch if I'm against things like Zed or Fizz or Elise or Zac, things that can dive me. Then I take the
Yeah.
watch. Biscuits. Do you know how to use biscuits?
I usually just take them. I mean, I use the secondary because I usually tend to do a lot of bad trades.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think I get like too cocky in trades, and I just use them there. Or maybe if I don't use them, I just sell them
Right.
to get like a control word or something.
Okay. But do you know like how biscuits work?
Not really, no.
Okay. So basically, biscuits. The reason why people take biscuits, it's not because of the trading part, but it's because it helps you get a lot of mana. So how biscuits works is that it restores 10% of your missing mana and health. So the only time you want to be using biscuits is when you're below like is if you're like really low on mana or really low on health. You don't want to be using it if you're like above 50% or like above 30%.
Okay.
There are times where like let's say if you're pushing, let's say you're getting shoved in. There's a big minion wave here, and you're right here, and the enemy just base, and you want to shove back, right? But your mana is like below 10%. You can just eat a biscuit and just clear the whole wave, and then just shove back. That's one way to use biscuits. If not, then just sell it. Terigo for biscuit is pretty good. So yeah, that's about runes. Attack speed is, I'm pretty sure like if you watch some coaching videos, attack speed is really good on Orianna because of her passive. And these are pretty self-explanatory. Okay. What do you ban when you go into a ranked game?
I ban Fizz.
You only ban
Every
Fizz?
single game. I
Okay.
really ban Fizz. I hate playing against that stupid fucking champion. I hate it. I mean, I probably like should probably ban something else and learn to play versus Fizz, but I
What if
really
you
don't
don't
want
ban
to.
Fizz? What if you don't ban Fizz? What would you ban?
I, ju- I usually just ban junglers. I think Hecarim, if he's not banned right now, or Evelyn. Like everything, I don't know if that happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time, and Evelyn is on the enemy team, they just 1v9, and
Mm-hmm.
every time they're on your team, they don't. Like
uh,
I don't know, man.
I've experienced that. I mean, every time they're on the enemy team, they're like Malice. Every time they're on my
Yeah.
team, they're like Malice on BBQ. But I don't know. Actually, no. Malice is a really extremely good Evelyn player.
Hmm.
But um, I get what you mean. I think banning Fizz against Orianna. I feel like Fizz against Orianna is still playable as long as you take
Mhm.
exhaust.
Mhm.
You could even go for, if you're having like a really hard matchup, you could even go for Resolve secondary and just take
Okay.
the Shield Bash, either Shield Bash and Bone Plating, or Bone Plating and Overgrowth, and you should be
Mhm.
fine. if you're really like struggling against Fizz, or you could just take exhaust or barrier.
Okay.
The main point of playing against Fizz is just to not let him snowball, and you always win the game.
Yeah.
As long as you don't let him snowball or get out of control, there's no reason why you shouldn't beat him at the game as Orianna.
Mhm. Okay.
Alternatively, the bad matchups I can think for Orianna, like Orianna doesn't have a lot of bad matchups. The worst ones I can think of is probably Syndra, but ever since the Syndra nerfs on her mana cost came true, I think even Orianna goes either even or even better than her right now in laning phase.
Okay.
So I
Yeah,
think Fizz,
Syndra's, I don't know. Syndra's don't get played here. I've probably haven't seen the Syndra in like 30, 40 games.
yeah, like Syndra, like the mana
Yeah.
nerfs are quite noticeable. Another ban you could probably go through is rather Akali. Like good Akali players would
Mhm.
just really it's again because Orianna is such a well balanced champion. It's not that hard. It's something like
Yeah.
Fizz, but like again, it's because it's something like Fizz. If you get her out, if she gets out of control, Akali really just
Mm.
destroy games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also, I think probably for me banning LeBlanc would be better. I really struggle against LeBlanc. Like she d- she doesn't even have to hit her fucking chain, and she just does so much
Uh,
damage. And
LeBlanc
her chain
is
just has
LeBlanc is
so
like a
the
really
range. I don't know.
is it's a okay LeBlanc against Orianna. So think about this, right? Um, let's say you're Orianna, and let's say this is LeBlanc. Okay,
Hmm.
what do you have that LeBlanc doesn't have?
Uh, Consistent wave clear.
Yeah, so you have wave clear, right? You have wave clear,
Yeah.
and like what's good about LeBlanc, right? The burst, right?
Yeah.
Like LeBlanc is fuck my life, can't fucking draw. So yeah, it's fucking whatever. Burst, okay.
Yeah.
So how this I'm gonna explain a bit more later. When we're in the game. So how you usually determine like who wins lane is who's able to get level 2 first, right?
Hmm.
So realistically, if you start with Q, you should be able to just shove through the lane, level 1.
Yeah.
You shove through the lane, and even if she tries to auto attack you or like tries to get a cheesy auto into W into auto to get her electrocute on you, it's
Hmm.
whatever to you because you can just heal back with the corrupting potions or corrupting
Yeah.
pots. And even if she tries to do that, the autos will you always hit her. So even if she'll win the trade but not by a lot, like it won't destroy you. The main
Okay.
focus is that you want to push the wave level 2, and then you just beat her from there onwards. Because once you hit level 2, you have either access to E or W. If you take W, you'll push the wave much easier. If you take E, she won't be able to trade with you. Because she
Yeah.
has to come onto you, which means she has to come onto you in the minions,
Hmm.
right? Another reason why LeBlanc is kind of bad right now is because a lot of mid laners nowadays can shove waves really fast. Like if you think about it,
Hmm.
there's like TF, there's Orianna. I think Zoe is also one. Zoe is hard LeBlanc counter. Um, what else? I think Silas not really, but I've been seeing a lot of Silas in Korea. Akali is also one champion that hard counters LeBlanc. Basically LeBlanc is just not in a good position right now to play her.
Okay.
So like I can get Fizz, I can get Akali, but if you are having troubles with Orianna and LeBlanc, you probably should not ban LeBlanc and just play the matchup and try to experiment with it. Like
Okay.
if you
Okay.
want, I can look at it, but if not, my best advice when you're playing against LeBlanc is always just know how to manage the wave. Because the
Okay.
only good thing LeBlanc is good at is trying to one shot you, and she can't
Yeah.
do that without items. Um,
Okay.
One general tip that you can do is that you can probably just get a now magic mantle
Hmm.
from base, as in like your
Hmm.
second base, and just sit on it, and you'll be fine.
Hmm. Okay.
This like greatly decreases her chance of actually one shotting you. Um, like a lot of people don't notice, like if you're against like burst mages like Fizz or LeBlanc or Katarina or whatever, if you get like one defensive item, it could be like yeah, like the best way I can think of is probably just now magic mantle. As long as you don't die or bleed too much, that now magic mantle actually has a lot of value.
Hmm.
But yeah, again, like there's a lot of ways to actually go around like exhaust, bone plating, um, health regen from a corrupting potion or now magic mantle.
Hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
Not really.
Okay. Now just watch your VOD. Okay, this is the Orianna versus Rise, right?
Yes. I also have one against LeBlanc. I think the Rice one we won. The LeBlanc game. I mean the Rice one was. I wouldn't say it was a full-on stomp, but it wasn't that close.
Okay.
Either.
Okay. You can see everything, right?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, let me just. I don't know why it's loading. It shouldn't be loading. Okay. Okay, how you enter lane is also really important in this matchup. Okay, so you're walking with the wave. That's fine. You're against a Moo, right?
Yeah.
Try
Yeah.
to. So when you're level 1, when you're against champions or like junglers that can gank mid quite easily, or that has the option to gank mid easily. So let's say like Zac or Mumu, Lee Sin, J4. It's always good to put wards on Raptors or at Wolves or Blue, but mostly Raptors. You want to put it at 120 or 122, 122, 122. So you know like either they started red and then they're going through here, and you'll see them. So you know like okay they're going bot side, and you can play top side pocket. Or if they don't do this here, and by the time your ward expires, it's still there. Either they're really smart and they went all the way back to do red, or they're not doing red yet and they're trying to full clear this. So you can play like you can play top side pocket and then into bot side pocket. So that's how you avoid ganks. Also like one important thing before like you start every game, it's always important to think about 3 things when you're playing mid lane. The number 1 thing is the 1v1 and the 2v2. 1v1 is obviously you against the mid laner, and the 2v2 is you and your jungler versus the jungler of their jungler. Their jungler. Yeah, that's the 2v2. You need to know like, okay, how do I win the 1v1? And how you win the 1v1 is usually, okay, can I push for level 2 first? If you can push for level 2 first, that means you always win the 1v1 at the laning phase. Having the option to push first means you have the options to push the lane and then beat the shit out of him, or push the lane and get a roam. Right, that makes sense. 2v2 is kind of self-explanatory. Like if your jungler and you beat the early 2v2 skirmish against them. If that's the case, then you should always try to go for every interaction that your jungler has with their jungler, and vice versa. If your jungler is like playing around you or whatever. The number 2 thing is how comfortable you are in laning phase. This basically just means like so let's say you're playing Orianna and you're against Rise, right? You know that both of you scale really hard, so you can't really just sit here and do nothing. Like there are some games where like let's say you're playing against Pantheon, okay, or Talon, right? You know that as long as you can control him from like getting free roams or whatever, you're comfortable sitting in lane. You're okay with sitting in lane, and you can just scale and farm and get 3 items, and eventually just take over the game by having like a 5k shockwave or whatever. That's understanding like how your champion fares like later in the lane, like later in the game, by understanding like what you need to do in lane. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Number 3, like this is much more team based. Like, understanding the CC of both teams. So let's say they have. I think the most common example I can give is let's say they have Trash, on the enemy team. Okay. In a team fight, like there's a lot of things going on, right? Like you like there's like probably like 100 skill shots flying over each other and whatnot. What you need to understand when it comes to CC is that you need to know, okay, if I go into this team fight, what I need to look out for, or if I go into that skirmish, what I need to look out for. If Trash is in that equation, I need to wait for him to hook before I can freely walk into the enemy team. This is really important because sometimes some players, what they do is that they will look at the team fight. They're like, oh, I see 5 of them there. I'm just gonna run into them without knowing the enemy cooldowns. When
Yeah,
and what
I'm
happens?
guilty. I'm guilty of that sometimes.
Yeah, and what happens is, oh, the enemy's gonna be like, oh wait, you are running into me. We'll just throw directly at your face, and then you
Yeah.
die, and then it becomes a 4v5, and then your team rages, and then surrender vote comes out, and then it's 5 green lights, and you're like, what the fuck, my promos. But yeah, that's usually the case. But when it comes to like these three things, it's really important to at least have an idea and not go in blindly. Like when you start every game, just look at like just you don't have to constantly think about it, but it's good to like at the loading screen like okay 1v1 Rise versus Orianna, I can get a push first. 2v2 Vi versus I don't know who the jungler is, but let's say like I'm pretty sure like Vi kind of beats a lot of jungler if he takes
Mumu.
yeah,
Mumu's,
okay, then you win 2v2, so you should probably join your
yeah.
fight. Comfortability, you're like, okay, I'm okay against Rise. Our team comp is not bad into late game, so you don't have to force a lot of things. If you don't have to you don't have to flash to get an engage, blah blah blah. You can just wait for them to come to you. In lane, you also don't have to like really go for the kill under the turret or whatnot. And then CC is what I just explained. Does everything
Yeah.
make sense so far?
Yeah. Like what happens here now is, I think that was a like misthinking on my part. I pushed the first two waves, and
Mhm.
after that I go ward the Raptors. But Amumu is just usually a talisman jungler, so
Mhm.
warding Raptors so late probably doesn't really make sense because they usually just do red and then Raptors. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do ward Raptors, you should ward it like at level 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Because like if you ward it now, you don't know whether he could have just straight up started Raptors, or
Yeah.
like he probably didn't do Raptors or just skipped it, and you
Yeah.
won't be able to see it. Like cause sometimes like if they skip it, they can just go straight to blue.
Yeah.
But because it's a Mumu, it's unlikely. But in the case that they do for like some special reason, then you won't be able to spot them. Okay, let's see. I think like this level 1 is fine. Although I do think like you can probably try to walk up a bit harder. Just try to ball into him. You like I don't know if he started W or E, but because he's not throwing any skills. But in the case where he starts W, that's fine because that means you can get level 2 first. But if he starts E, I don't think it matters because I remember they changed his E to not damage the surrounding enemies, so you can probably just stand like a bit further so it doesn't spread. So if he gets level 2, it won't spread to him, and then it won't spread to you. Or like you won't be collateral. That's
Yeah.
basically what I want to say. You can try to be more aggressive, just straight. Because like right now your goal, but like what I'm looking at is that you want to push for level 2, which is fine. Because you want to harass him and you want to get your lane dominance going on, which is okay. But what you could do slightly better is that you can try to walk up a bit here because he's holding this pocket, right? So you can try to walk up and force him in the uncomfortable position where you can just Q into him straight, so you won't get like your Q reduction damage because it's passing
Yeah.
through minions. Because like at this point, like at around this point, you should know that like you've already successfully like gotten the push in because
Yeah.
of the minion health totals. Like
Yeah.
let's say like this is 1, this is 2, this is 2. He has 5 total. You have 3, 3, 3, 1, and then 1. You have like what 11 total. You're always gonna push this for sure. So you actually don't have to like continue to hit the minions anymore because this is always
Okay.
gonna you're always gonna hit level 2 first. Unless
Yeah.
somehow this minion somehow goes into here, and then you can just
Mhm.
write a ticket to Riot. Um, but yeah, like in this case, you can just try to hold the minions and just get level 2 comfortably, yeah, which is great. This is what you're doing. Uh, level 2 here. I think what I noticed like yeah like so. Let's see what you do here. What do you think you should have done here?
I think I should have like attacked one minion to like to get to level 2 first without the potential of losing like minions and having to use my Q for like 3 minions at once.
Wait, repeat that again. What you think you should have?
Like I think I should have like focused one minion, like one melee minion,
Uh huh.
and like gotten it down so I don't have to queue like 3 minions in total to get them to
Uh
get
huh.
level 2. So I didn't like use my level 2 efficiently. Like I just stood there and my Q was on cooldown because yeah, I
th-
didn't like.
there's like multiple things that's going wrong here. First is like okay. So why do you push for level 2, right? Because one, you want to keep priority, and two, it's because you want to get level 2 before the enemy, so you can damage them better, or like you can trade better. Because when he's level 1, he has not much skills and he has less better stats, right? So if you look at the map now, do you need to be anywhere right now, realistically?
No.
No, right? You don't have to help your jungler because your jungler is bot side. If you're worried about ganking, you should know that like if you knew where they started, like if you know which lane came late, you should know which pocket to hug. In this case, their bot lane came late, so you can actually just hug bot side. Because at this time, if he's not ganking you by now, he's probably doing his raid right now. Um, so you can probably just hotbox that. If you're really not sure, you should put a ward earlier. But because you had a ward earlier here, you can still hotbox it. Because like if again if he really wants to gank you right now, you should be able to spot him earlier. But again, it's a moo. He's probably doing full clear, so there's really no reason to get. So the reason why I say like there's a lot of wrong things going on here is here, look at this, right? You're gonna hit level 2 at this minion, and he's still like actually 2 minions away from hitting level 2. What you need to do is you need to contest for your level 2 from him getting level 2. What you want to do is that you want to walk up either here. Actually, yeah, this is probably the best place. You want to walk up because it's closer here. It's closer to him. And like if he tries to hit any minions, you hit level 2 first, and you want to harass him. That's number one. Let's see. There's also one more thing that's wrong. The second thing is like using your Q as well. Using your Q here in such an awkward place. He shouldn't hit level 2. Like if you try to like walk up to try to like say, oh, if you want to hit this minion, you have to take some damage. Basically, what you're doing here is like you're letting him take a free lane where you should have punished. Now, like the lane's gonna become a really bad lane state for you, because what's gonna happen now is that he could potentially hold it right here, and it's gonna be really bad for you if a mood choose to like gets a bit creative, or like whatever, come over behind you and try to gank you. Then you have to burn flash. The reason why I say like using Q there is bad is because it goes on cooldown. That means like he has free reign to walk up to CS. It's really bad. A third thing is that when you push in the lane, what's gonna happen here is that these minions, he's gonna farm it for free. It's not gonna get contested. While you're losing pressure in mid. Like putting this ward is fine. But again, we know that like he's from here to here. Like based on what it moves. Again, unless he's some special case, which in any case you should probably pay for LEC or whatever. You can probably just hug bot side and you'll be fine. If you're really anxious, what I would recommend, like if you're really worried that he'll gank from top side, what I can recommend is that you can probably just place a ward here, or a ward here over the brush, and then just go back to lane. Just try to harass him. Because what you're doing right now is that you're walking like all the way from here to here just to put a ward, and by the time you come back to lane, the lane's gonna be back in even again. So it means like you're losing the ability, like they're using the time frame to trade with him. Because right now, what's gonna happen is that both of you are even, and you don't really want that. Or like you don't want that if you don't have to. In a scenario, so let's say like if you're forced to like go even because his jungler is like hovering here, or like setting up his marshmallow, whatever, then fine, whatever. But in a scenario like this where like, okay, I don't really want to go even, and if I want to get a hit, I can. You shouldn't really like, okay, I pushed the wave, but I'm not gonna do anything with the wave. I'm just gonna go up top here and let the wave push in and let him farm for free. You see what I mean here?
Yeah.
Right. So now the wave is like, what's happening here?
Like his wave is for sure pushing.
Yeah, he's
like
pushing.
He has more caster minions.
Yeah, he's pushing towards you. Also like one more thing to note: if you want to put a ward, there's like some specific spots that if you put it anywhere, it's basically the same result. Let me just pull up the Rift Kit. Rift Kit map. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So you can see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you want to put wards on like this side, what you can put is that you can either put one here, or you can put one here, or you can put one here. Sometimes you can move this ward to put it. Oops. How do I move the? Yeah, you can put it here as well. This is fine.
Mm-hmm.
This will allow you to see like if they're coming over. From you'll be able to see them like walking through here. You'll be able to see them walking through here. Um, putting hold on. Putting this ward putting the ward here doesn't really like help you much because like sometimes the vision you can't see here because of how it's angled.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you can't see if raptors are gone or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we go back to the game. This is kind of ballsy from you because you don't have like any bot side vision. So Mu could be bot side. Because that is like you can tell like what a Mu like or where a Mu could be based on your jungler. Like your jungler completed like 5 camps. So a Mu being the farmer he is, he can probably do like 5 camps and probably roam a bit faster because he can clear slightly faster than Vi. So he could be around bot side. Like this is slightly ballsy that like you try to walk up. If you want to do that, you could, but you have to walk top side and try to trade from him that side because it's much safer.
Okay.
Because if you walk up like this and if a Mu just pops up, then you die or you burn flash. This current lane state it's kind of messy, but it's pushing towards you. And the best case scenario right now is that you could probably just try to so one thing to know is like when you're burning corrupting potions, you want to try to trade with him with your Qs, but you don't want to hit the wave.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that you want to Q him, but you want to avoid hitting the wave as much as you can, so it doesn't bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, the wave is in a really like the lane state is in a really good position right now because it's holding right here, meaning that you can't realistically get ganked from the Amumu. And when your corrupting is popping, you want to use your corrupting's passive or like corrupting's effect to wither him down. I don't think this is a good idea. Okay, well, is he? Oh, okay. The reason why I say like this is not the best idea here is like if somehow like if he just flashes it like if he just flashed the initial Vi Q, he could just get away scot free, but the enemy would get information of where Vi is, and then they could just play aggressive.
Yeah.
But because this is Go, I guess it's fine because it's Go. Like they don't pay attention whatsoever. Big whiff from the Amumu right there. Okay, let me try to slow it down a bit. Another reason like why this gank like shouldn't really happen is because like the wave is already pushing in, so there's really no reason for Vi to really be there. But like he's standing he's probably he's standing in a non-water position. He's closer to the bush, so he has to burn his flash. After that, you push this wave in. After this, okay, there's 2 options, right? What do you think the 2 options are?
Either just back and walk back to lane, because the wave is going to bounce back, or just continue harassing him.
No. Okay, the one that you mentioned is right. The other one is wrong. So look at the wave, right? Well, this is not the perfect example, but like look at the wave. It's a huge wave, right? You can base because he has to farm. He has to stay and farm, so you lose tempo. What tempo basically means that if you can push or like if you can base first, it means that you can go back to lane first and you can do something first, right? Because you have better items. So you can probably come back to lane. Like let's say like you base right now because there's a big wave. You base right now, you get like an extra like item or 2, component or 2. You come back to lane, you shove the next wave that's around here, and then you have options. You can either roam or you can put wards, right? That's basically tempo. It means you can do something first. Alternatively, because you don't have like 1300 gold to get your lost chapter, unless you're going for tier, which I don't think is a good idea against Rise. You want to have the early power, ability power to trade better. Alternatively, because the lane is around here, you can try to look for opportunities with your roams. You can look at side lanes and see, okay, do I have to commit down bot or top? The only problem with that is because the wave is like close to here. you have to make your decision really fast. It's either you base right now or you look at roams, and if you want to commit, you need to commit. Like you have to decide fast. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why I say like because the wave is right here, it's what's gonna happen if you try to roam is that he's gonna push the next wave, and this whole wave will be denied if you decide slow, because it's gonna push into you unless you decide not to roam and stay back. In which case, it's also bad for you because now he's gonna base first. Okay, make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right here is fine. Like you can just shove the wave. He's pretty low. Like if you just like base like after that whole big wave is going, you don't have to he won't be able to base first. And you will always be able to base first. You could potentially save TP as well. Right here you shove back, but he TPs, right? No, does he not? Oh, I guess not. The fuck? Like do you want to say something like when I said like lost chapter or tier?
I don't. I like never go for tier. I don't know. I don't really like it.
Sometimes on Orianna, because she's such a spammy champion, Ludens might not be enough. The 500 mana is quite a lot, but because she spams so much, sometimes the I mean obviously don't go tier first. Never do that. But Archangels is not too bad of an item on her. On Orianna, because the shield is really good, the AP value is also really good, and the mana reduction is also really good on her. Okay, when you come back to lane, what do you see from this?
Like the lane or
The
the map?
lane, just the lane, just the lane. Don't think about the map. Like just pretend this is black right now, or whatever.
Okay.
When you look at the
I
lane,
mean,
what do you see?
yeah. Like I see a locked lane. Like the wave is so close that the caster minions, the enemy wave will be pushing like if I don't like hard shove it.
Do you have to
Or
hard
like
shove?
no, because Rise is not here. Like there's nothing to do basically.
Okay. So when you come back to lane, the moment you came back to lane, look at this, right? There's 3 extra casters, right? So this is the new wave. This is the previous wave, right? Let me just color code it just so it makes sense. So this is the old wave. This is the new wave, right? And there's gonna be another new wave coming in from the enemy, right? So what's gonna happen is it's gonna freeze right here.
Yeah.
There's gonna be one freeze here. Okay, what you can do right now, because there's nothing to do, right? There's nothing to do. You don't have to go top. You don't have to go for Drake because Drake is not up. And there's the Scuttle's already been slain. What you should do is try to hold the freeze here, because there's nothing else to do. You don't want to push because even if you push, there's nowhere to roam. And if you push, you might get ganked. The best case scenario here to freeze is because you can probably call for your jungler to go for a gank if your jungler chooses to do so. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because right now, look at this, right? It's if you don't hit the minions, it's gonna be 9-6. Obviously, because it's so near to your turret, you have to be more cautious on how to freeze this. Because if one minion slips by, the freeze will break. So sometimes like what you could do is try to like stand as close to them as you can, and just hope they aggro you so they don't aggro the backline minions. So in that scenario, you can just try to hold the freeze here, and if he comes towards you, don't Q through the wave, but instead Q through from here, just to harass him, so you don't break the freeze. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what happens. Like one min just goes in tower range.
Yeah, because the reason why it's even harder is because you Q the minions here, like right here. See? So like it kind of affects it a bit. Now, like not now, he like right now Rise is struggling, right? Because he doesn't know where Vi is. So if you do this, like, you can just QW there, and you'll be fine. The freeze obviously breaks because it's an even minion and it's closer to your turret, so it's gonna push for sure. Whenever there's an even minion, like both sides has the equal amount of minions, and it's closer to your turret, it will always push to the enemy team. Right here you can just zone. You should put a ward down first though, because it's really like right now. Look at which side of pocket you're playing, right? You're playing bot side. You know Amu just gang top, so you don't have to put it immediately. But after this wave, let's see if you put a ward. Okay, so like there's no way Amu like instantly TPs to bot side. Okay. Right now you should put a ward, because now you're above the middle line here. See? You're above the middle line, and if Amu just comes from any direction, it's very dangerous for you. It's not that dangerous because there's a big wave, and like if the enemy is smart, they won't try to contest for it, because you could potentially 1v2 or 2v1 or 2v2, so you should be fine. I think what you could have probably done, I mean, if I were you, is that I would try to I don't have to like put it too far. I can just put a pink, I can just put a like yellow trinket here, and play with the minions, because I have a huge wave, and there's nowhere I need to be right now. You get what I mean? Because I don't want him to just freely farm the wave for free.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, look at this, right? You push in the big wave. Like, that's a big wave here, right? The reason why I said, like, ward earlier is because you want to play with this wave. If you had a ward earlier here, you won't have to place it. You won't have to place it after this. Which means he won't be able to, like, on the downtime that you're going to ward, he won't have free range to, like, just EQ.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Makes sense, right? Like, if you have any questions, you
Yeah, it does.
So right here, he gets free minions, and once again, you lose the opportunity to like punish him from being bad. Okay. Oh, that is ballsy. Oh, yep. Burn flash. I don't think you needed to burn flash there. I think like that's pretty self-explanatory. Right? Like.
Yeah, Rice was off cooldown probably, and the minions as well. Like.
No. It's like, look at this, right? Look at your map. Look at your lane, right? Look at the map and tell me like which part is safe for you to walk in.
Like bot side. Like
yeah, right. This
pocket.
side, right? This side is safe for you because you have no vision here, and you know that Amu was just top from killing Lysandra. So there's a high chance that Amu could still be top, because look at it. You have a ward bot side. You're a ward bot side. You know that like Amu probably wouldn't be around here because you can see what's happening on here. You know that Amu would probably be top side because he just finished killing Lysandra a couple minutes ago. So it's possible that he could still be top side. And because there's no vision here, there's no reason for you to walk up this far to trade like that. Because okay, look at this. Getting this is fine. Like after getting this is already, you already win, because this is already a really huge lead for you. What this means is basically saying like, oh, I've traded with you and you can't retaliate because of my range. So anything that you get off this for free is basically a bonus to you. But in a scenario where like it literally just happened, where if Amumu is here and he pounces on you, you have to burn flash and you lose HP, which makes the trade worse for you. Like you already won. You already won by doing this QW. The fact that you went back in, you're like, fuck. Now the trade is back even, and because Amumu is here, it's even worse for me. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you need to know where to play your strong pockets. Like you can hover around here. Like it is fine. Oh my goodness. Wait, he has. Oh, what the fuck? You should have died.
Nah,
like
he
you
doesn't
should
have enough mana.
You should have
He doesn't have
100%
enough
died there.
I mean, I was like, why doesn't he just ult T6? But then I looked
Yeah,
at
exactly.
his mana and
Does he actually not have enough mana?
Nah, he had 88.
Oh, he actually didn't have. Yeah. Wow.
It's kind of unlucky for him.
So yeah, like you can actually just play your pockets properly, because if you have a ward there, it's very hard to kill you if you know like which pockets to play around. Obviously, like this is fine. Like if you look at this and you're like, okay, do I really have to keep walking here at this point? Do I really need these fruits, or can I just base sooner? Oh no, oh no! You hear those sounds, Circus? Oh no! This is kind of bad, because like look at this, right? At this moment, after you shove this wave in, there's two options again, right? You can either roam, or you can either base. And because the next minion is here, you have more time to think about it. And looking at top, it's like, okay, I should probably go top. But if you look at what your teammates are doing, you're like, okay, at this point, because I know both my teammates have R, they have to like secure this kill. And if they don't, then too bad, right? Because you're still around me. Like if you're closer, whatever. But like at this point, you should know like, okay, this fight is already over. They have both outs, and if they fuck it up, it's not my fault. Like you can't really chase. I think Vi like kind of chip skate. From
Nah,
not
she
using
tried to give Liz the kill, and she don't ult.
Yeah, and then they gave both kills. Real nice. And Vi had to burn flash too. Wow, okay. And now this kind of creates a how should I put this? Like it creates bad timing for you, because now you're kind of stuck in lane with 1,000 gold to spare, and your next and it'll be really weird for your next base timing, because now your tempo is a bit weird. What I mean by like your tempo is a bit weird is like, imagine now, because Bryce just based, right? He just bought his items. It means he doesn't have to base anytime soon, which means he gets to have a free roam from you. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Because if the time that you base, she will roam, or like he will like do something like this where he can just freely help his jungler come back to the lane without losing too much. Okay. So now you go back to lane. You're a bit late. You get Merc Church, which is really good in this game because they have a Moo and Rai. So good job. The fuck? Hello? YouTube? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Go back to lane. That's fine. You have vision. This is gold, right? Wow, that's a lot of vision here. You don't usually see like four active pink wards. But maybe that's just EOS. So again, like right now, you have the opportunity to freeze. You don't have to queue this. I think like it's really rinse and repeat. Like at this point, you're like, okay, you know where the rise is. You're very comfortable by just farming this because you don't want to, you don't want to get caught out, right? Because what's the worst case scenario, right? You push this lane, you see Rise around here. He goes into he clears this vision. He goes into the fog, okay, and then suddenly a move pops out, and then you get one shot, or like you die from a move and Rise. That's the worst case scenario. Because in this scenario, if you know where Rise is, just tell your teammates to back off, and if they don't, tell them that you're deaf or whatever, or you're fine. And you're still comfortably freezing. Because what a lot of people don't realize is like the only time that it's worth for a roam is that if they get 2 kills and a plating. Because if you do the math, if you freeze and if you can get like, so let's say if they roam, right? You freeze and like, okay, they're roaming, and you're like, okay, it's time for you to push because you want to get free platings. What you get from this is, let's say you can get like 1.5 wave. So let's say that wave has a cannon. So that's about 160 plus another 100, because each wave is about 100 gold, right? So that's like already 260 gold. Cannon and a normal wave. That's 2 wave, okay? 260 gold. Around 260. And then another plating. So it's 260 plus 160. So in total you get like 420 blazed, right? So for them to equal out on a single person getting this much gold is that they would have to get 2 kills, which is 600 shared, 600 plus assist gold, and also a plating, which is like, if you split in 3 guys, I think it's like what, 160 divided by 3, it's like what, 50-ish for each person. Then only it's worth it. But you also have to realize that's not included with EXP, because what's happening when they do, like, let's say if Rise roams bot, they're sharing EXP as well. If you stay in lane and just push like this, you will be level 10, Rise will be level 9. This will always be constant. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Because oh boy. I was gonna say like this might be a really bad idea, because right now your wave is in a really bad spot. Because what's gonna happen is this wave, if you don't, this is fine. Like if you don't go back to a 10, it's gonna freeze right here. Because imagine if you roam back down, if you committed to like, Rise is here, Vice is behind me, I can probably look for something here. It's really bad because look at the wave, right? If had you attended here and not go back to your lane, this wave will freeze right here. This whole next wave is gonna get killed by your minions, and then you lose like a whole wave of EXP.
Yeah.
It's fine. Rakan's age, he can't do much. If you really want to help, you need to shove this with and TP. QW, immediately QW and just TP. You just need to make sure like you don't have to fully clear it. You just want to make sure like, okay, I just need to somehow get this wave, your wave into the turret, and you can just TP. You don't have to like fully shove the wave.
Okay.
I mean, if you can, sure, but like if you can't, like just TP for now. Oh my goodness, it's like a buffet right here. You get everything, right? Yeah. Okay. You get 3
I
kills.
don't. Yeah,
Oh,
kills.
the Rakan got out. Okay, and now the wave is this. Like right now, you're really huge because you get 2 kills, you get a lot of free farm, and you also probably could get a plating or 2, or you got a plating. So yeah, like at this point, you can probably carry from here on out. One thing I'm not noticing is like the mouse clicks. I'll probably like look back at it at laning phase. Yeah, you can probably get this plating, and then you can just go out. Alternatively, because it, like you would have to like base literally right now for you to not lose any minions. So like alternatively, you could wait for the next wave and just insta shove it and base.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. Because I only need 100 gold to Ludens.
Yeah.
So I just say the next wave.
So this is fine. Like if you're yeah, just hard shove this. Don't even like think about the rise. E to pull back the thing. And just base, yeah. And this is fine. Okay, this is really good. No, this is not good. No.
Yeah, I don't know why. Just because of Rise roaming, I think.
No. No, now
And
you're
I was
even...
a bit greedy for the kills.
Oh my goodness, it's like another buffet. Oh my goodness. It worked out, but if it went to their way, then you would be fucked.
Yeah.
Because you not only would you have a terrible recall, but you would also like, let's say if you die, you also give away shutdown. But because Rise died, they're fucked. They're really fucked. But you have a lot of skill. Like you can't stay for this plating. You would have to just shove and then base. No, you should never shove for this plating because realistically, you can't get this plating before Rise spawns. You know why? Like, do you know why this is bad? Do you know why this is bad? That's what I'm trying to say.
Like, first of all, the jungler is like the jungler. I think the jungler respawned, and so he could be like just around the corner, and Rise could just ult in or TP in.
Let's say, what if there's no junglers? What if it's just Rise? Let's say like the junglers don't exist. Let's say the junglers AFK. Why is this still bad?
But I think Rise. There's no like the minions just didn't even spawn yet, so you can just like push the wave in before I backed.
You're close. So the reason why this like staying for this plating is bad is realistically, excuse me, realistically, by the time you can't take this plating before Rise comes back, right? Because it's still like a full plate. It's almost a full plate, right? And realistically, you can't push this whole plating before the next wave comes, right? So it's much better for you to just base now, spend that 2500 gold, come back to lane. So by the time, like let's say if you base right now, look at where the next minion wave is. It's literally not spawned yet, right? If you base now, you would hit base, the minions would spawn, and you would almost walk, or like you would walk slightly after the minion spawn, and you would not miss a single minion. Your tempo would be perfect.
I think I agreed for that because I looked at the timer and the plates despawn at 14. I don't know. I think I just wanted to get one more plating before they despawn.
Yeah, but like one plating is just it's just 160 at this point. Like it's much better to get EXP as well. Because now like if you stay now and if Rise is spawned, so like let's see what he does here if he comes back. Like 160 is good. But now you can't base because if you base now, you're gonna lose some CS. Look at this, like the wave is here, you're gonna lose this 100 gold. So you're basically like trading like 160. You basically just got 60 gold, basically. Got 60 gold. You go back. Now Rise comes, and there's also like another argument saying like, okay, if you base now, it also means Rise can do something on the map first, because he's back in lane, you're not, or like he's back on the map, you're not. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But luckily, like I don't think you get punished, or like your team doesn't get punished for this. Holy fuck! Vi almost suicided. Yeah, like Rise could be there again. Like, oh my god, like how is your team not getting punished for this, man? Jeez. But yeah, you lose like 1 minute, one and a half wave basically. So that's
Yeah.
like that's basically about the same plating, right? Because one wave is about 100 gold, and then melee minions are about um 60 to 90 gold, depending on the time. Okay, what do you think you should do now? Like at this point,
I think just shove the wave and get blue.
yep, that's pretty much it. Like it's that simple as that. You shove the wave, you get blue. There's no reason to fiddle with him here, because again, realistically, he's not gonna fight. He's not gonna fight with you unless he's he's an idiot, right? So there's no way for you to kill him. So the best option that you have here is just shove the wave, get blue and look for something on the map, or like come back, shove the next wave and look for something on the map. Ooh. Remember that part where I said like unless he's an idiot, like he won't really try to fight with you, and
But
yeah.
But why wouldn't even
Man,
would have
fuck why, man.
not
Fuck
given me
junglers who say
blue?
like, "Oh, I'll give
Like,
you the next one." Fine. Like okay. Here's one tip I can give you, right? Yeah. See what he does with that blue, huh? And
yeah,
it's
okay.
gone, gone. Okay, but like what I was gonna say, like, try to be more aggressive when you take blue. Like literally ping the blue, like spam ping the blue, if you have to.
Okay.
Because realistically, like you having blue is so much better than your jungle having blue.
Yeah.
Because again, like unless they int or you int, or like unless the guy with the blue ints, it's always just much better giving it to your mage. I mean, what I'm trying to say is basically like, you can control yourself, but you can't control your jungler. So if he does something like that where he just runs the turret and just give the blue away anyways, just spam the blue and just say, hey, I really want this. Because again, it's so much better. Like you would use blue so much more often. Like what the fuck does a Vi need blue for?
Yeah, true.
Fucking Q mana? Oh yeah, I totally need like fucking 70 mana to use my Q, whatever bullshit. Like look at you now, you barely have any mana, and you missed the cannon, but that's beside the case. You should be fine. In fact, like you could probably shove the next wave too. You shove the next wave. Oh well. I was gonna say like you could shove the next wave because like you're already late for the TP anyways. So you could shove the next wave. Try to get turret instead, or you could just do this. Because now the top, like I said the first part is because like the wave is kind of messed up because I know the wave would be around here. Actually, you know what? Here, let me look at this. I think the right move here. I take everything I just said back. I think the right move here is to immediately base.
Okay.
Do
I
you
mean,
know why?
wanted I wanted 100 gold so I could purchase the second component of Lisandro's, like the small mask.
Leandris? Oh yeah.
Yeah, the small mask.
Oh yeah.
And then just pushed the next wave in because like top wave would have just pushed into us again, you know? Like we would have
Yeah, but
like someone had to take care
you
of it.
can't realistically push this whole wave into the turret because the wave's gonna be stuck there. I think if you're really desperate for the 100 gold, either get wolves or sell your cropping pot. If you're really desperate. Otherwise, because the reason why I say like don't even touch this wave is because this wave will freeze here for quite a while, because it's a big wave, and the next wave's coming. Right, the next wave's coming. It's gonna form a huge wave. It's gonna freeze here. You can get wolves. Get your 100 gold. Get your 100 gold. You can base TP, and the wave would still be here. So that's why it's probably the best choice. Yeah, like just forget what I said like before. Because now, realistically, you can't shove this in before dragon spawns. yeah, you can't shove this in before dragon spawns because this wave is gonna be here. The next wave is gonna come. Like this next wave is gonna be around here. It's gonna hit here, and then you'll be late for dragon anyways. So the best case scenario right there was just to hold that wave, and let it freeze there. I mean, obviously, like, you know, hindsight 2020, right? But now that you know, you can probably expect, like, you can probably do this in your future games.
Yeah.
I won't advise to push this first. Push that wave. I would just advise like just go straight to Drake. Oh my goodness, that's aggressive. Holy fuck! Do you not die from this? Dude, that is so balls deep. Okay,
Yeah.
I guess you don't get punished at all. Maybe? No? I guess not. What
No, man,
the
I just
fuck?
don't die.
Wow.
That is such a stupid interaction. Like, why does he get ported there? I mean, he's rooted by Lisandro's W. Like, why does he get ported? That literally makes no sense.
Because Rise didn't get rooted.
Ah, Rice has to get rooted.
Yeah.
Ah, I
Yeah.
thought like every
No.
like
As
thing
long
is
as
like
Rise is
everyone
not
is
rooted
individual.
or CC, he can port everyone else away.
Okay. Oh, that's
Okay, so let's
cool.
start from here. Yeah, we already explained this, but let's start from here, right? So when you TP, just go straight to Drake. Cause there's no reason to push this. There's no reason to get this 80 go here or 90 go here. Cause you're not gonna push this turret anyways. So just let it sit here. It's fine for it to just sit around mid. You're not rushing to push turrets. You're rushing to do dragon. So realistically, you just want to TP, go straight to your team, and try to fight the 5v5. Although you're late. Like this is kind of 50-50. Because the team go is so close. Here, holy shit, your team's so dragon. I oh my goodness, what the fuck? Okay, holy fuck, this is the ballsiest Orianna played I've seen this entire week. You see what's wrong with this? You basically what you did is you just said like, you know what? my name's Brian and this is Jackass. I'm gonna flash onto the Rise away after their outing Rakan around the Amumu straight into the Lucian just to ult. Like you know how many ways this could have gone wrong?
Yeah.
If he flash, if Amumu, tries to kill you, if Rakan's like, oh, you know what? Free Orianna, W, you instantly die, and then the whole team just breaks apart.
Yeah.
Holy I can't believe you didn't get punished here. It's insane. If I do this in like high elo, like I always die.
Yeah.
That's
Probably
actually
because
insane.
it's like low plat.
Yeah. What the fuck? How the fuck? Yeah, okay, so you didn't get punished from this. You won you kind of won the coin flip. But look at mid, right? Look at that, right? The wave is kind of in a weird spot where you can't really push it in, but it's also closer to the turret. So it's kind of weird right now. It's not the worst. But if you like again, like I can't really say much because the whole thing kind of went favorable to you. But let's say if it went badly, like let's say like you went there a bit late, maybe things would have been a bit different. Also at this point you yeah
don't need to push. Yeah, I could respect.
Yeah, because again, realistically, you can't get deterred anyways, so you can just base, get your Leandres, get blue, then just base. Yeah, just base here. Oh, that's ballsy. Oh, that is so ballsy. Holy shit! How does it feel? How does your chair feel?
My chair.
Do you get up from your chair with like 2 empty holes? Like, Jesus.
That's
The amount of ballsy plays that you've made this game. My God.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I get like too cocky.
Yeah, like again, like okay, maybe this game is gonna get punished, but I can imagine like there are some games where you do this kind of shit and you just instantly get one shot, or like you get like caught, or like the whole CC thing. Remember, like you flash in, then like enemies like, oh wait, this is Orianna who has no mobility aside from her flash and phase rush, just flash into 5 of us.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure, maybe this game, like, you didn't get punished, but jeez, like, I can imagine the number of games where you just instantly get, like, whooped. This Rise is okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we don't talk
literally
about that. Yeah, let's not talk
yeah.
about that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, this is fine. Like for you to stay top is fine because there's the next objective is Baron anyways, and there's no dragon. It's fine. You can probably walk slightly. Yeah, okay, this is fine. I was gonna say like you probably walk slightly above. This is a bit weird. You could just stand around. Yeah, around. You get what I mean. You could
Yeah.
just stand around here, just poke him here. That's fine as well. I assume you probably did that because you were afraid he was gonna flash,
Yeah.
or not,
Yeah.
or out away, and Amu just kind of inted. Okay. Yeah, I think at this point this game's probably over, right? Like, there's no way this game is not
Yeah.
over.
Nah, we won that. I think I do. Oh, wait, I actually died.
I'm just gonna fast forward because let me just see like if there's anything. I feel like probably the rest of the things here is probably just mechanics or whatnot. Or like team trying to close it. Yeah, like there's no way that you guys lose this game. Like you're at soul point, you're super far ahead. You're super far ahead of the enemy laner. And then your team is basically monsters if they try to go onto you. Yeah, there's no way. Okay. You don't have anything that you want me to see, right? I'm pretty sure this game is just over. Like it's just
It's over.
yeah, okay.
Like we just get Baron and then we finish.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
This
just browsing on Twitter for 5 minutes.
yeah. Let's watch. Let's coach that part. Let's see. I'm joking. Oh, Fall Guys. Yeah.
Oh shit, man.
Okay.
That's insane.
Yeah. Let's watch the LeBlanc game. So this was the game that you lost.
I lost the game, yeah.
Let's see. Okay. So you start lane. What was your lane thought like when you went into this matchup? Like what was your game plan?
I don't really think I had a game plan for this one. I think, I mean, that's pretty bad, but I don't know. I don't remember what jungler they had, actually. But I knew like they had volleyball. Oder? Wait, had they? I don't know. I just thought like Kane would just lose. Um, yeah, they had Liana. And yeah, I didn't want to push the wave just because I know Kane will just lose.
Wait, Kane would just lose.
Yeah.
You don't want to push the wave because Kane would just lose. What do you mean?
Like I don't want to like push the wave to the point where like there's no benefit for me in pushing the wave, letting it bounce back, and just be in river at like 3 minutes because like like contesting 2v2, like we would lose 2v2. Can die.
Who was their jungler?
Liana, I think.
Oh,
It's
Lilia, right?
yeah,
Yeah, the Bambi champion.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, remember how we talked about like how you win the LeBlanc matchup? And like, you know,
yeah.
the earlier part when I've talked about like how you should always think about three things. Like when you
Yeah.
want CC, how comfortable you are in lane. Um
Mhm.
so how do they win the game? Like how do they win the 2v2 in this matchup?
Like by me being like by me pushing and then just like
how would you lose by pushing?
because LeBlanc could just WE me and then Liana could
Okay,
come and connect.
but she would need to hit level 2 first, right?
Yeah, and she
Okay.
did.
And, yeah, okay, she did because you're letting her push first.
Yeah.
Then she would hit level 2 first for sure, right? But if you look at the lane, okay, think about it this way: if she gets level 2 first, what does she get from that? Well, like if she pushes lanes first, what does she get from that? She gets priority, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if, like in this matchup, you know how weak Kane is before evolution and how strong he is after evolution.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, your job right now, from what I understand in this game, is that you need to get priority first. So if they fight for Scotto, you can go first.
Mm, okay.
you can win the 2v1 first, or you can be there first for the 2v2. Obviously, if you went there for like if you went there at the same time 2v2, then sure, maybe you lose. But if you're there first, there's very little reason why you should be losing a 2v1 unless Kane int or you int. And there's no reason for you to let her push first. Because if you can get level 2 first, and again, Lilia's not a champion that can gank you for free. You can always slash the LeBlanc W or E if you really have to. And also you have wards. You can put like Lilia isn't those champion where she could just hop through walls and just gank you from some unknown area. Lilia's very before she gets her ultimate, she's very telegraphed. She needs to literally walk to you and hit you, or she's just bowling balls and that's it. But Lilia before 6 is not really a big threat. It's like after 6 and after she gets like a few items, she becomes a much more of a champion. But right now, the reason why this is kind of bad is because she gets level 2. She's able to say, okay, Orianna's having a big wave. She has to stay here. Scuttle spawns. I can help my jungler first. And then your Kayn is going to get double scuttled. And then you might lose out from there. Let's see what happens. I think it will... Oh, you could let it freeze, but you need to 10 out the wave, which is what you're doing. So that's good. Okay, you see where the Lilia is. She's warding bot side. I'm gonna play this at like, oh no, I'm just gonna plus through this. Oh wait, one more thing I almost forgot. When you trade in lane, make sure that your clicks are a bit more precise. What I mean by this is like, okay, look at the LeBlanc, right? What does her movements tell you?
That Leanna's like probably top side.
What else? Like she look at where she's clicking. Yeah, she wants to trade. She's literally like saying, she's literally pointing at you right now, right? She wants to trade with you. Okay, so you have two choices, right? Either you back off, which is what you're doing, or you say like, okay, you can trade with me, but I'll just trade back, and we can probably trade equally because I have my passive, you have your electrocute, but because you're Wing to my minions, my minions will still hit you, so we will trade equally. When that happens, look at where your mouse is clicking. Okay, this click is correct. Your next click should be around the LeBlanc, so that if she comes around, you can do this. Yeah, this is fine. And then what you need to do is instead of walking here, you can walk up here instead. Because she's always gonna pop back here. The reason why I say like you can walk here is because your minions are still around here. You don't want to walk here because there's no reason. If you walk, there's no reason to walk here too because you'll be out of her AA range. So this up here would be the best because your minions will still be attacking her, and she will always lose this trade. Always. If she autos you, which I'm pretty sure she did. Yeah. Look, the moment she autos you, your minions will just start hitting her. So yeah, don't be afraid to like click on her like a bit earlier. Yeah, this is like very subtle, but it will help in the long run. Like especially against Katarinas, where like sometimes they will like put the dagger down. No, like let's say this is Katarina, right? And let's say her dagger is like around here. You can hover, like you can A click her, so your champion starts moving forward. The moment she walks forward, and when she picks up her dagger, your champion will immediately auto her. That's one way to like trade effectively without like losing out too much. Okay, your Kayn, like everything seems to be quite normal. After she, okay, let's see what you do here. After she uses her cooldown, you don't have to be passive. Like after she uses a cooldown, LeBlanc has a really fucking long cooldown. I think like, if I'm not mistaken, it's like what, I want to say like 16 seconds. It could be longer. On her W.
On her W?
Yeah, on her W. It's like 16 or 15. I know it's pretty long.
It's 16.
Yeah, it's like
18 actually.
Yeah, it's okay. So like after that, you can look for a small trade. You don't have to be this passive, right? Right now, you're just being way too passive for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, these trades are good. Like you can do that slightly earlier after she
Mhm.
QW, and it is fine. Right here, what do you think you should do? Or like slightly earlier?
Probably just thin out the wave.
Yeah,
Already
thin
that
out the
it, like
wave.
doesn't push into my tower.
Where does she W? Okay, whatever. Like she W earlier. Okay, how do you thin out the wave?
By autoing and QWing the wave.
Okay,
Like
which
the melee minions.
minion do you think you should QW? Or which minion do you think you should kill?
Wait, actually, like probably like two caster minions or something like that. Like maybe 3.
Okay.
Or
Let me
yeah.
give you like a really simple tip. Okay. Like this will work as long as your range. Well, this will work better if your range. So look at the amount of minions here, right?
Mhm.
This will clearly push towards you, right? So
Yeah.
what you want to do is you want to kill most of the melees.
Mhm.
You kill most of the melees and let the try. You can let the casters alive. You can let the casters let loose, or you can keep the casters alive. Wait, yeah, the melees here. Sorry, the melees here. You can maybe like kill 3 of these and maybe like one of the casters and just hold the wave here. Let the wave be around here and sit under here. If LeBlanc tries to do anything, you auto her.
Mhm.
The means will still be around here, but again, you have corrupting, you have shield. So even if she tries to hit you, she'll take 1 turret shot first, and then she'll take damage from you. And then the lane's over for her.
Mhm.
Because right now, what you should be doing is that I mean you could have QW earlier. That way your cooldowns will be back up, and then you can E the ball back to you and Q here again, and then tin out the melees. That way you can freeze it much easier. Yep. Right now your next QW should be around here, just to tin out the wave. And then when that's tin, so like imagine right about here. Let me like freeze it perfect frame. Imagine if you had killed the melee minions,
Yeah.
these would be gone, but these would still be here. But like again, like we will kill all of these, this here, and this here. 4 of it will be here, and you can just hold the wave around here.
Yeah.
It will just be slightly outside of turret range. That way, when the next minions or like when your next wave hits, they will freeze it around here, and LeBlanc's fucked.
Mhm.
LeBlanc can't do anything about, because again, if she tries to W, she'll take 1 turret shot, and then she'll take damage from you too,
Yeah.
and you'll be free from ganks, and you'll be free from trades. Right now, because the wave is slightly big, you have to let it crash. But because of that, you lose turret. Holy fuck, you're kicking this LeBlanc's ass anyways. Yeah, notice how she couldn't really W onto you because you're still around turret range.
Mhm.
That or, she's a dumbass. I'm taking the latter part. Okay, at this point, the wave will... Oh my god, okay. Okay, this LeBlanc is an idiot. I was gonna say, the wave will push towards her, and if that happens, you're kind of fucked. But it looks like she's trying to counter push you, which makes no sense. Because remember, right? If you push in, what's she gonna do?
Like yeah, just
It
just
becomes
instead
a
of ping.
long lane for her,
Yeah.
right? It becomes a long lane for her, which means that if you try to walk up around here, she can W, E, and run you down. Or, the jungler can run you down, or whatever. Or anyone that comes to the lane can run you down. Because you're forced to walk up to CS. But this LeBlanc is dumbass. Like, this one is a real dumbass. Oh my goodness, this one is a real dumbass. Oh boy. If she's playing smart, okay, what she could do, if she didn't auto like these minions, right, or whatever.
Mhm.
Wait, did she W? Please don't tell me she W. Oh fuck. If she didn't W here, okay, these minions would be full, but it would push towards her, right? It will push towards her, and the next wave will freeze around here. Because the next wave will be coming in, right? When that happens, what are you gonna do? What can you do that would make you be in a safe position?
Like I just have to push the wave.
Yeah, you
Or
have to
like
walk
just
up to
stand
push the
back.
wave, right?
Yeah.
When that happens, you're vulnerable to a lot of ganks. The reason why I say this, like what we can learn from this LeBlanc, is basically like if you're the LeBlanc, you should never try to push the wave back because there's no reason to. Um, what she's basically doing is she's actually like win trading right now. Because she's basically saying, oh, hey, Orianna, you know what? Let me just push the wave back towards you so you can freeze it in front of your turret and you'll be safe. Like, yeah, she takes this trade, but she still loses this trade anyways because there's minions. So right now, if she's smart, she's going to be like, okay, I can just close the wave here, try to tin this out, and I'll be fine. But instead, I don't know, like maybe she's trying to go for a hot date or something, or whatever. She's going for like a Tinder date. She's trying to push this back. And there's just no merits to doing this. You, on the other hand, like you're perfectly fine because like you're in a safe spot. Perhaps you could put a ward up on your top side just to be sure. You're safe to put a ward around here because if anything happens, Kane could potentially come and help you. You can't put it bot side because it's further from Kane. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like warding there doesn't really make sense because I see the jungler bot side, and I don't think like Jace will gank me, you know.
Is it a bot side?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay,
She
yeah,
was bot
I just
side.
saw her. Yeah. Okay, in that case, yeah, then you'll be fine. Yeah, in that case, then you're even much more safer. You're even much more safer. Just like honestly, here I'm just gonna auto her. What is she gonna do to me? Okay, you can put a W. You can put a Q on me. You can chain me. I still have a higher health total to you. Like honestly, at this point, I would walk up around here, just to beat her ass. Because there's nothing else she can really do about it. She's running out of mana. She's running low on health. The only way you die from this is somehow she 100s to 0 you, which is not realistic at all. And then you just push the wave. Even if you don't kill her, you get first tempo to base first, which is fine. Like you're playing a bit too safe here. You need to think of the like realistic ways that she can kill you. And right now, there's really no way she can actually kill you. 'Cause, like, look at her. She's literally trying to push the wave back, but she can't because she's a LeBlanc. I think she's cosplaying Orianna. You know, I think she's trying to, she's trying to shove the wave back in. Yeah, now she's running low on mana. And now you can stay because like you can push the next wave. You don't have to base now because no, let's see. The LeBlanc take TP. Yeah, she doesn't even have TP. The fact that she doesn't have TP makes you incentivizes you to even stay even much more. And if you like, let's say if you don't have enough mana to base or like to push, you have biscuits.
Yeah.
Right. So the reason why I say like you can push this wave is because one, you know she just ran out of mana. Yeah, you know she just ran out of mana. So even if you stay, even if the jungler comes, you can always escape because LeBlanc can't follow up whatever the jungler has. You're full HP as well, right?
Yeah.
So LeBlanc can never follow up. If you push this wave, LeBlanc will 100% lose this one whole wave. In fact, because Orianna's ult cooldown is so low, you can even like if you want to just like fast shove the wave as fast as you can even just out the wave if you want to. That way, she's guaranteed to lose the entire wave, and you'll be half a level up. Yeah, you don't have to keep the wave in the middle because you don't want to lose minions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And also, like if you just push the wave, you don't have to TP at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Like in this type of matchup, so let's say like you're in a future matchup with LeBlanc, and let's say the LeBlanc is better than this LeBlanc. Okay, if she has Ignite and you have TP, you just need to play the long game. What I mean by the long game is saying like, okay, you just need to play and slowly bleed her out, and she's always gonna bleed out as long as you don't die, because her main job, if she takes Ignite, is to kill you, and if she can't kill your ass, you will always have the TP advantage and you always have the lane priority because you're Orianna, and if she tries to W on you, she can't W the wave, meaning she can't push the wave, and because you can push the wave first, you always win this. Like right here, this is a big win for you because now she has no cooldowns.
Yeah.
Right? She has no cooldowns, so what's your next big move? Actually, well, in this case, your next big move is actually just to do nothing because the wave's gonna push back into you. Okay. Okay. I think you're pushing way too much. I think you really pushed the pedal to the metal. Like at this, like after this QW, since you missed, there's really no point on
Yeah.
chasing this
That's
anymore. Cause she's basically getting her full combo off you. Like you're look at this, right? Okay. I will start from here. Look at this, right? She has no cooldowns, so obviously this attempt of trading is fine, right? Because she has no cooldown, so this is fine. This is okay. But after this, now you don't have cooldowns, so your mouse click should actually be around right here. Yeah, that's correct. But because you input one more forward, you're walking a bit forward first, right? So what the fuck is your mouse not here? Oh, you probably click in front. Yeah, you clicked in front and then you're backing now, right? Okay. So after this, you need to back off. When you're backing off, yeah, you shoot a Q, that's fine. You shoot a Q, he Ws you. She Rs you, then Ws you, that's okay. Now your Q is back up. You Q is back up. You Q, W, R, and then back off. Because there's nothing you can do. If she doesn't die from your Q, W, R, you back off. Because there's nothing else you can do. You have no cooldowns left. You don't have Ignite, so you can't realistically just one-shot her.
No.
Okay. So after that, Q, E, or like Q, R, W, back off. At this point, you should be standing around here. Because right now, you're way too close to her, and her health total is much higher than you. So right now, when her W she just used the W, so you're in no realistic threat of dying. But I think it's because she missed her chains, right? Yeah, she missed her chains. Yeah. And then you're forced to flash out because she might flash auto you.
I think she actually flashed to chain
Auto?
me. Like I'm not really
it?
sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I mean she should have had flash.
Yeah,
like
she
right
did. She
there.
did. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she did.
did. She flashed
So,
to
yeah.
chain you, and she missed. And you should be fine. Good flash regardless, actually, because you're still in her auto range. So right now you're in a pretty tough spot. But this all happened because you had poor management of your clicking, and also your cooldown management. You're trying too deep for the cookie jar. You're literally, oh boy. Good substeps. This is fine. At this point, so at this point, I don't know wait, hold on, let me. I actually have no clue where Lydia is. Okay, yeah, I knew she was spotlight. At this point, because you're low on health and you don't want to die, like again, like the only way they win this matchup is if you die and let them snowball. At this point, you should just shove the wave and get a free recall. But like, let's say if she's doing this kind of shit where she's trying to shove back, then let her shove back. Because now you can try to hold the freeze in front of your turret, and you should be fine. Yeah, there's nothing she can really do if she pushes you on the turret. Because if she Ws and tries to kill you for poke, you can always E yourself. One tip I can give. Ooh. One tip.
I die here, by the way.
Bowling ball? Yeah. One tip I can give is that if you wanna stay in lane, but also like try to not be passive, is that you need to know your spacing. You know your spacing by like knowing how far LeBlanc can realistically hit you. You right here, you shouldn't be looking at this minion. You should be looking at where LeBlanc is. Because again, if you pay attention to her clicks or like where she's facing, you would know that okay, she is gonna go onto me right now. And if I don't prepare myself, if I don't like back input immediately when she walks like this, I'm gonna get hit, and I could potentially die here. These are those situations. Like, have you been in those situations where like both of you are low, and it depends on whose jungler comes first?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are one of those situations. Like if she's staying, it tells a big sign that someone's around mid.
Yeah.
Like a big sign, like someone like either the support or the jungler should be around mid.
And I mean, I saw Lilia because I had the pink ward there. Or I don't know if it was my pink ward, but I saw a river, and I shouldn't really,
Yeah, the fact that she's like pushing a huge wave, like tells a lot. So you die here. This is really bad. Like this could be game ending because you lose like 2.5 waves.
I
And a
think
plating.
it was like basically like it all went downhill from there.
Moves along. You go back to lane with just boots. You get 2 platings. You lose 2.5 waves actually. And now the wave is forced to push. She has a long lane. You can't stay in lane. You're like, blue? What?
Yeah, man, he just went blue and said it was better, and yeah, he didn't one shot anyone, by the way, the whole entire game.
Oh my goodness. This is the longest breaking angles, but you're too good at a champion. You're min-maxing. That's really good. I'm looking at like how you resulted in this kill. She shouldn't die to you, by the way. Like she has no reason to die to you. But okay, you actually played it really well, and she should have been more patient. Or her combos are wrong. Wow, the sidestep's really good as well. I think what we can learn from him here is that if you're the LeBlanc, obviously this sidestep is really good from you. If you're a LeBlanc, and if I like, okay, let's say if I'm LeBlanc and you're Orianna, if I notice that I've already missed my first W, I would not Q first. I would E first. I would E so I can guarantee my Q proc.
Yeah.
So like after now, she's fucked. Cause remember right here, look at what she did, right? She W, she Q'd, and then she R'd.
Yeah.
Now she has no cooldowns. Also she E'd, but that doesn't matter. Now she has no cooldowns, which means you can run her down. She's look at her, she's so cute, trying to juke you. Now you can run her down, and yeah, you always get the kill here. So now you push the lane. She gives back a lot of EXP to you.
Yeah, that was man.
I don't think you should have roamed at all first. Because let's see. Let's click tab and see. Where's the tab? What the fuck? Hello? No? What the fuck? Okay. I think there's 2 things to determine whether like this roam was fine, okay? First, obviously look at your wave. It's just too important. Whenever you play mid lane, you always need to pay attention to how much time you have to roam. And in this scenario, you don't have a lot because the wave is already at your tier 2. What's gonna happen is by the time you hit top turret, by the time you hit around here, this wave's gonna meet. And if you don't come back soon, LeBlanc's LeBlanc's dead, but like it's gonna slowly freeze, and by the time you come back, LeBlanc will be back and you don't have a good base timer.
No.
I think this roam is also bad because I don't think you're forced to roam. Even if Darius dies, how do I put this in a way that makes sense? So even if Darius dies, it's still not the end of the world. Because at least you're still ahead in your lane. Or like you could be ahead in your lane. Because right now, LeBlanc spawn, he's walking back to mid lane, and you're still around top lane with the wave in the middle. So now, right now, in this period, you're losing minions. And I know like 1 or 2 minions doesn't mean a lot, but like, you know, when you add them up, it actually does. Like, look at this. LeBlanc's back in lane, and you're gonna have a really weird timing to base. You could potentially shove this next wave, but you're gonna lose tempo as well. Because now LeBlanc's back on the map and she can do something first. Or like she can do something without you being on the map. Like you're trying to oh my goodness. No.
Yeah, I just saw him.
Okay. Yeah, this could happen. If this happens, it's even worse. Well, okay, yeah, the game's kind of over.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a tragedy, man.
Yeah. But you get what I mean, right? You get the point I'm trying to make, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at all the way back from here. You kill LeBlanc, okay? That's good. You kill LeBlanc, this wave just hit. This wave just hit, right? Which means the next wave is about to spawn soon. Right? Because every time a wave like hits in the middle, the next wave spawns around every like 30 seconds. right? So what you should do here realistically is shove this next wave, get like about 200, about like 200 gold here, get either boots or blasting wand, go back to a lane, and continue to grow your items. Because what's the best case scenario that you go from top lane? Okay, you kill Jace. That's it. You lose tempo, you lose minions, and Darius still dies. So at the end of the day, it's still just a 1-for-1. It's not a lot for you. Do like try to remember like in like let's say like if it's like a competitive game, yeah, maybe sure going for the trade 1-for-1. Okay, fine, whatever. It's a team game, so you can get something for your team. But in solo queue, remember you can't control your teammates. So even if like you trade 1-for-1, because it's not too much for you, it actually feels like a loss for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're the only one that you can reliably rely on. So yeah, you have any questions?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it just, I don't know. I tend to like just autopilot, like when I, get tilted.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard it a lot. Like, don't autopilot.
Yeah.
The best way I can think about, like, what do you do when you autopilot? You just like do things on your own, right? You just like, oh, okay, minions, I gotta shove. Oh, team fights
Yeah.
happening, I gotta go.
You just press buttons.
Yeah, just press buttons and like do things on the map, right? One thing I can give advice to whenever like that's happening is that literally just like take like 3 to 5 seconds when you're basing or like when you're on your fountain and just look at the map and see like what you should be doing realistically. Because you really need to clear your mind and you need to rethink of your win conditions. And what is your win conditions? Now, first of all, it's obviously you, right? If you can get a hit, you're obviously one of the win conditions. But if not, then how do you play from there? Do you have anyone on your team that's fed and that you can count on? If so, then you play around them. So let's say in this game, maybe your Philios can carry. So all you need to do right now is not to bleed out anymore.
Yeah.
Every time that you die, it is detrimental. It is like devastating for you. Right now, you can just like, okay, when you're behind, just shove the wave. Just shove the wave and ignore interactions. Do you know what I mean? Like interactions, like trading, saying hi, shaking hands with the enemy. When you're behind, you want to avoid as much interactions because most of those interactions will always result in a loss. Like 90% of the time. I mean, of course it depends, but 90% of the time when you're behind, you should always lose every trade. Realistically. But when you're ahead, you can try to keep the lane in the middle for more interactions. The reason why I say like you can push the wave to avoid interactions is because he will be busy trying to farm. Of course, like you could also argue like, okay, if I want to push up the wave, I could be standing here, like he could trade with me. Then you need to respect. Like if he walks up, then sure you have to back off. But if not, just try to brain that push the wave. And you're Orianna, you have no problem in trying to do that. You have enough range to push the wave. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. If you have no questions, you have nothing else, right?
No.
Okay. If you have no questions, then I'm just gonna close the recording here.
Okay.